To be blessed by His holy hands is to be embraced by a love that asks for nothing and gives everything. His touch is not just gentle, it is transforming. It reaches deep into the places we hide our fears, our wounds, our failures, and brings light where darkness once lived. When His hands rest upon a life, nothing stays the same. The hands of Jesus are not ordinary hands. They are holy instruments of compassion. They touched the sick, lifted the fallen, and comforted the broken-hearted. When we feel lost, those same hands reach toward us, reminding us that no distance is too great, no sin too heavy, and no heart too damaged for His healing. To feel His blessing is to experience peace that the world cannot offer. His hands do not simply remove pain, they replace it with purpose. They do not only guide us, they strengthen us for the journey ahead. Every blessing He gives prepares us for a season we cannot yet see. His holy hands carry a tenderness that restores dignity to the weary. He touches the places we believe are beyond repair and whispers, "You are mine." In that moment, shame loses its power, and hope begins to breathe again. His touch is a promise that our story is not over. Sometimes the greatest blessing is not a miracle we can see, but the quiet assurance He places within our hearts. His hands steady our trembling souls, lift our eyes toward heaven, and remind us that we do not walk through life alone. Every step is covered by His grace. When His holy hands bless us, storms may not disappear, but we gain the strength to stand within them. His touch becomes our anchor. He holds us steady through winds that should have broken us and waves that should have drowned us. In His hands, fear loses its voice. The blessing of His hands is also a calling. He blesses us so that we may bless others. The kindness He places within us becomes a light for someone else. The comfort He gives becomes comfort we share. His hands work through our hands, extending His compassion to a world in need. In moments of silence, when prayer feels heavy and answers feel distant, His hands are still at work. They shape our character, deepen our faith, and mold our hearts to reflect His. His blessings often come wrapped in patience, teaching us to trust His timing more than our understanding. His holy hands write redemption over our broken chapters. They remind us that what we consider ruined, He considers redeemable. The blessing of His touch turns regret into testimony, sorrow into strength, and weakness into worship. In His hands, every burden becomes a seed for growth. To live blessed by His holy hands is to walk with assurance, knowing that the One who created the universe is holding our fragile lives with care. His hands guide us, protect us, heal us, and uplift us. And as long as His hands are over us, we are never forgotten, never forsaken, and always loved beyond measure. His holy hands are the place where fear goes to rest. When life shakes us and uncertainty rises, His touch steadies the trembling corners of our hearts. He does not promise a life without challenges, but He promises that His hands will never release us, no matter how fierce the storm becomes. There is a blessing in knowing that His hands hold wisdom far greater than our understanding. When we do not know which turn to take or which choice to make, His hands gently redirect our path. Even closed doors become blessings, guided by the One who sees what we cannot. The hands that shaped the heavens are the same hands that cradle our weaknesses. He does not turn away from our flaws. Instead, He embraces them with grace. In His hands, brokenness becomes a place where miracles grow, and imperfections become reminders of how deeply we are loved. To be blessed by His holy hands is to be held by a love that never changes. His touch today is as powerful as it was when he walked the earth. Time does not weaken his mercy. Distance does not limit his reach. His blessing is alive, strong, and present in every moment we invite him in. His hands wipe away tears that no one else sees. Even the silent cries of the heart find comfort in his presence. His touch gives strength to those who feel unseen, unheard, or forgotten, reminding them that they matter to the God who holds galaxies within his palm. When his hands bless us, they also shape our perspective. What once looked like defeat becomes divine direction. What once felt like loss becomes preparation. His blessing transforms how we see the world, allowing us to recognize his purpose even in difficult seasons. His holy hands bless us with courage we didn't know we possessed. When we face challenges that seem impossible, his touch fills us with a quiet strength that rises from within. It is not our power but his, working through every step we take. There is comfort in knowing that his hands never rush. He moves with perfect timing, carefully crafting every blessing with intention. Even the waiting becomes holy when we trust the hands that hold our future. His hands carry blessings that heal the wounds of yesterday. Where pain once lived, his touch brings restoration. He does not simply cover scars. He transforms them into testimonies of his faithfulness. To be blessed by his holy hands is to walk with a heart filled with gratitude. Every breath becomes a gift. Every sunrise a reminder that his mercy is renewed. His blessings do not always arrive loudly. Sometimes they whisper through daily moments we often overlook. The blessing of his hands is a reminder that we are never too far gone. No mistake is too big, no failure too heavy, no past too dark for his grace. His hands reach further than our shame, pulling us back into the safety of his love. His hands bless us with renewal, of spirit, of mind, of purpose. When we feel drained, weary, or empty, his touch fills us with strength that comes from heaven itself. We rise again not by our power, but by his. In his hands every burden becomes lighter. He invites us to place our anxieties, worries, and fears into his palms. And when we do, he replaces them with peace that surpasses understanding. Peace the world cannot imitate or take away. His holy hands bless us with clarity. When confusion clouds our minds, his touch reveals the path forward. He does not always show us the entire journey, but he shows us enough to keep walking with faith instead of fear. Being blessed by his holy hands means being wrapped in a love that protects, heals, guides, and restores. His hands are the safest place we will ever know, strong enough to hold the universe, gentle enough to cradle our hearts. To be blessed by his holy hands is to experience a love so gentle, yet so powerful, that it rewrites the entire story of your life. His hands do not touch lightly. They touch with purpose, intention, and divine compassion. In moments when the weight of the world feels too heavy, his hands settle upon your heart with quiet strength, reminding you that you are never carrying your burdens alone. His blessing does not always appear in miraculous signs or sudden breakthroughs. Sometimes it appears in the silent courage that rises within you, in the peace that softens your fears, and in clarity that unfolds when you least expect it. His hands hold your past with grace, your present with understanding, and your future with promise. Every blessing he places upon you is a reminder that he has always seen you, always known you, and always loved you beyond measure. His holy hands bless not only our circumstances, but our hearts. They reach into the deepest corners of our souls, those places we hide, those wounds we fear others will discover, and they bring healing where pain once lived. When his hands rest upon your life, shame is replaced with dignity, sorrow with hope, and weakness with strength. There is something sacred about the way he restores what life tried to break. He gathers every shattered piece, not to discard them, but to shape them into something more beautiful than before. His blessing is not a temporary comfort. It is a transformation that continues long after the moment has passed. Even when you cannot see his work, his hands are molding you into someone stronger, wiser, and closer to his heart. To be held by his holy hands is to stand in a place of unshakable security. The world may shift, people may change, and circumstances may challenge you, but his grip remains steady. There is no force that can pull you from the strength of his hold. In his hands, you are not defined by your failures or fears. You are defined by the love that crafted you and the purpose that guides you. His blessing becomes a shield when life becomes overwhelming. It becomes a whisper of comfort in the midnight hours when your thoughts are loud and your heart feels tired. His hands remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, and not left to navigate life by yourself. No matter how uncertain the road seems, you walk under the blessing of a God whose hands never fail. To be blessed by his holy hands is to enter a realm of comfort and protection so deep that words often fail to describe it. A realm where every worry begins to loosen its grip and every fear slowly melts under the warmth of divine love, because when his hands are upon your life, you feel a steadying presence that doesn't always speak in thunder or fire, but in the softest, most reassuring whisper that says, "You are safe with me." His hands carry a healing that reaches places inside you that you never knew were wounded, places that even you hid from yourself, and yet he touches them with a gentleness that proves he has always understood you more deeply than you understood yourself. His hands are the same hands that touched the eyes of the blind, lifted the paralytic from the ground, blessed the children who gathered near him, and broke bread for the hungry multitudes. Those hands still move today, not visibly perhaps, but unmistakably in the way your heart finds peace at midnight when the world is silent, in the way your spirit rises even after seasons that nearly crushed you, in the way hope returns after you thought you had lost it forever. There is a sacred strength hidden within his blessing, an invisible shield that surrounds you when people fail you, when circumstances shake you, and when life feels too heavy to bear, and yet somehow you keep breathing, keep walking, keep believing, not because of your own strength, but because his hands are beneath you, holding you up when you do not even realize it. And when you look back at moments you thought were the end of you, you will see his fingerprints all over them. You will see how his hands protected you from dangers you didn't see, how they closed doors you thought you needed but would have destroyed you, how they opened paths that you never knew existed, how they carried you through storms that should have drowned you, and how they gently placed you in better seasons you didn't know how to reach on your own. His holy hands bless you even when you think you are unworthy of blessing. They lift you even when you feel too broken to rise. They cleanse you even when guilt whispers that you are beyond redemption. They guide you even when confusion clouds your vision. His hands never rush, never tremble, never hesitate. They move with perfect wisdom, perfect timing, perfect intention, shaping a future for you that is far greater than the one you imagined. Being blessed by his hands means waking each day with the quiet assurance that you are not walking through life's valleys alone. His hands are your anchor when storms roar, your comfort when tears fall, your direction when choices confuse you, your strength when your spirit grows weary. His hands know how to rebuild what life tried to break piece by piece, gently, patiently, until beauty grows from the very places where you once felt only pain. To be blessed by his holy hands is to live with a love that does not grow tired, a mercy that does not expire, and a grace that does not run out. It is to be held by a God who sees your flaws, but still calls you chosen, who knows your weaknesses but still declares you worthy, who understands your fears but still gives you courage, who hears your cries but still promises restoration. And even in the silence, especially in the silence, his hands are still working, aligning things you have prayed for, preparing things you are not ready for, protecting you from things you may never know about. His hands stretch across your past, rewriting chapters you thought were destroyed. They cover your present with peace that steadies your heartbeat. They reach into your future with blessings that wait for the right moment to unfold. And when you feel too tired to pray, when you feel too overwhelmed to stand, when you feel too broken to move forward, his hands do not step back, they draw closer, lifting your chin, calming your spirit, reminding you that he has never left you, never forgotten you, never stopped loving you, and never will. In his holy hands you are held, healed, guided, forgiven, strengthened, restored, and loved beyond anything this world can offer. And as long as his hands are upon your life, you will rise again. You will walk again, you will hope again, and you will become everything he has destined you to be. To be blessed by his holy hands is to experience a transformation so deep, so gentle, and so constant that it shapes every breath you take and every step you walk. Even on days when you do not realize his presence is following you like a shadow of grace. His hands are not simply a symbol of divine power, they are the very expression of love that never grows weary, mercy that never grows thin, and patience that never runs out, even when your own patience with yourself collapses. His hands are the place where your fragile heart finds rest after long nights of silent crying, where your wandering thoughts finally settle after storms of confusion swirl inside your mind, and where your fears shrink into nothing beneath the calm assurance that he holds everything. Your past, your wounds, your guilt, your dreams, your future, in a way no human hands ever could. His touch is the soft reminder that even the pieces of you that feel shattered, scattered, or forgotten are known by him, understood by him, and valued by him beyond comprehension. There are moments when life becomes too heavy, when disappointments pile into mountains, when loneliness presses against your chest like a weight that refuses to lift, and yet somehow you keep moving, not because your strength is enough, but because his hands are underneath you, carrying you quietly, invisibly, consistently, through each moment you thought you could not survive. His hands protect you from dangers you never recognized, from decisions that would have harmed you, from people who were not meant to stay, from paths that would have broken your spirit. And though you sometimes question why certain doors closed, why certain hearts turned away, why certain prayers were answered differently than you hoped, his hands were shaping a story far greater than your limited vision could comprehend. His blessing is not always loud, it often arrives in whispers, in the peace that suddenly settles inside you after nights of anxiety, in the clarity that rises after seasons of confusion, in small moments of joy that remind you the storm will not last forever. His holy hands rebuild what life attempted to destroy, restore what time attempted to steal, and redeem what mistakes attempted to ruin. Every scar you carry becomes touched by his healing, every regret becomes softened by his mercy, every fear becomes quieted by his presence, and every weakness becomes met with strength that flows not from your own power, but from his unwavering grip. To be blessed by his hands is to be guided even when you cannot see the path. It is to be held even when you feel unworthy. It is to be loved even when you struggle to love yourself. His hands have written the chapters of your past with grace. Edit your present with wisdom, and prepare your future with intention. Even in the silence, especially in the silence, his hands are arranging things you cannot yet understand, aligning opportunities, softening hearts, rerouting dangers, and shaping blessings that will arrive exactly when the time is right. His hands carry comfort that reaches into the deepest parts of you, the parts you hide from the world, the insecurities you never voice, the doubts you feel ashamed to admit, the wounds you pretend have healed, the fears you think you should not have. He touches all of them without judgment, without impatience, without disappointment. His blessing flows into those hidden places gently, restoring you layer by layer, even if the healing feels slow, even if the process feels unclear. His hands steady you when the road becomes unstable, lift you when your strength collapses, and shield you when the world becomes overwhelming. There is no moment too dark for his hands to bring light, no brokenness too deep for his hands to restore, no distance too far for his hands to reach. Even when you drift, when you doubt, when you fall back into old patterns, his hands do not withdraw, they remain open, waiting, ready to welcome you back into the safety of his love. The blessing of his holy hands is not a one-time event. It is a continuous covering that follows you through every season, every decision, every hardship, and every triumph. His hands shape your character through challenges, strengthen your faith through trials, soften your heart through compassion, and elevate your spirit through grace. And when you look back someday at the road you have traveled, you will see his fingerprints everywhere, in the battles you overcame, in the pain you outgrew, in the miracles you didn't expect, in blessings that unfolded at exactly the right moment. You will realize that nothing in your story was wasted, nothing in your journey was accidental, and nothing in your suffering was unseen. His hands were always there, working through every detail, turning broken pieces into beauty, turning emptiness into purpose, turning sorrow into strength, turning your life into a testimony of his faithfulness. To be blessed by his holy hands is to walk through this world with a confidence not built on yourself, but built on the one who holds galaxies in his palms, and still chooses to hold your heart with tenderness. His hands cover you, guide you, restore you, protect you, strengthen you, and embrace you in a way nothing else can. And as long as his hands are upon your life, you are never alone, never abandoned, never forgotten, and never beyond the reach of his endless love. To be blessed by his holy hands is to step into a sanctuary of comfort that does not depend on circumstance, a place where the storms raging outside your life cannot drown the quiet whisper of his peace inside your soul, because his hands do not bless lightly or casually. They bless with intention, depth, purpose, and a love that goes far beyond the fragile and temporary assurances the world offers. His hands are the first hands that shaped creation, forming mountains with majesty, oceans with power, and galaxies with wonder. And yet those same hands reach gently toward the fragile, trembling heart of a human being struggling to understand their worth. There is a divine paradox in his touch. The same hands that sculpted stars in the darkest regions of the universe are the same hands that wipe away the quiet tears you shed in the silence of your room when no one else knows that your soul is tired. His hands lift you when you collapse from the weight of disappointment, and they hold you steady when you are shaking under pressure you never asked to carry. His hands do not judge your trembling, they strengthen it. His hands do not despise your doubts, they bring clarity. His hands do not punish your weakness, they pour mercy into the places where your strength has run empty. And when you feel like you have reached the end of yourself, That is when his hands begin their most beautiful work, because he does not bless the perfect. He blesses the willing, the wounded, weary, the wandering. His blessing is not loud or boastful. It is the quiet miracle of waking up after a night full of sorrow with a heart that somehow still wants to try again, still wants to hope again, still wants to believe again. His holy hands bless your mind with clarity, your spirit with rest, your path with direction, and your future with promise. Even when you feel like he is silent, his hands are working behind the scenes, rearranging things you do not yet see, protecting you from what could have destroyed you, redirecting you from what was never meant for you, and guiding you toward what will one day reveal the fullness of his purpose in your life. His hands know how to rebuild what life shattered, how to restore what time wore down, how to redeem what mistakes distorted, and how to resurrect what hopelessness buried. His hands do not merely touch your life, they rewrite the story of it, turning chapters of heartbreak into chapters of healing, chapters of confusion into chapters of clarity, and chapters of fear into chapters of unshakable faith. And even when the world abandons you or misunderstands you or criticizes you, his hands remain steady, unwavering, unchanging, reminding you that you are not defined by the voices of others, but by the one whose hands hold eternity. His blessing flows not only into the big miracles, but also into the small mercies, the breath in your lungs, the strength in your steps, the courage in your decisions, the hope that rises unexplainably in your chest even after everything tried to suffocate it. His hands are the cradle that catches you when you fall, the anchor that holds you when waves rise, the compass that guides you when pathways blur, and the shelter that covers you when storms break open over your life. And when you do not have the words to pray, or the strength to stand, or the clarity to think, his hands do not step back, they draw closer, wrapping around your weary spirit with an embrace so holy, so healing, and so perfect that nothing else in existence can compare. His hands are where fear loses its voice, where guilt loses its chains, where sorrow loses its weight, where darkness loses its power, and where your soul remembers that it is loved beyond anything it can fully understand. His hands carry the memories of every time you cried, every time you fell, every time you doubted, every time you questioned your purpose, and every time you wondered if you were strong enough. His hands carry it all, and they do not condemn you for it. Instead, they bless you with a future brighter than the pain of your past, with a strength deeper than the weakness you faced, with a peace richer than the chaos you endured, and with a purpose greater than the suffering you survived. His hands hold the blueprint of your destiny, the map of your journey, the healing of your wounds, and the restoration of your heart. And as long as his holy hands are upon your life, no storm can drown you, no darkness can overpower you, no trial can break you, and no enemy can defeat you, because his hands are the place where victory begins, hope returns, faith rises, and your soul learns to breathe freely again.